you're live.
Okay, and now hit this public. All right. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksuranmilitanyena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanyamanavistam Stabhidanyena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Karamaya Dadanti Swapadanti Kam. First of all, I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha and Diksha Guru, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Asatara Satta Sri Srimad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Then I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha and Sannyas Guru, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Asatara Satta Sri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga and my Shiksha Gurus. My Shiksha Gurus is Srila Gaur Govinda Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Goswami Maharaj, and the Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, and Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And I offer my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are present here today, my Dandavat Pranam. So, we are having our first, hopefully, live lecture here on YouTube, although YouTube is not saying that it's live. I have it up here. Okay, let's hope. Let me just do one more thing. Yeah, see, what happens is when you put it live by Facebook, it announces in a big way. So now I just have to wait till people see this.
You could hit live on Facebook even though it doesn't work and then exit out. And then everyone would be like, oh, you're live on Facebook. And then they would see that you're posting on YouTube.
Yeah, but it's going to be a different, a different live. Hare Krishna. This is Bhagavat Swami. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. And if the Facebook link is out, just click on the link below and go to the link to YouTube, and you can see my lecture live on YouTube. Live, we're completely alive. It's funny, the Facebook Live is a different angle than the public. Right now it's public. On YouTube, not your tube. It's already trying to reconnect. It's not even connected yet, and it's trying to reconnect.
We still have alerted everyone to our live. Hopefully they can figure it out.
We're live on Facebook and YouTube. Failed to reconnect. Already, the Facebook thing already failed to reconnect. The YouTube one is going on fine. The Facebook one, not connected. No, it's connecting. It's there. We are live on YouTube. Oh, no, we're not live. We're done. I can't tell what's going on anymore. Okay. All right. Well, we're live here on YouTube.
You're live
on YouTube. Yeah, but it's not working on Facebook. I can't get Facebook to do it.
There you go. The good news is too, even if they have a live lecture, if they go to your page and click that link, they'll be able to watch the lecture.
Click on the link below to watch on YouTube. Wait. Now, it's public. That's what I did wrong before. Hare Krishna. Please click on the link below to watch us on YouTube Live. We are on YouTube Live. The Facebook connection live doesn't last very long, so we're on YouTube Live. So go to the link below and watch us on YouTube Live, okay? Adi Shesh. Please go to the link below and watch us on YouTube Live. All right. We do a little bit of Leela Santos. Go to the link below, click on the link below, and watch us on YouTube Live. It's a more stable connection. What's the, we'll do a little bit of kirtan for a few minutes? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, Haribo, Nityago, Haribo, 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 Haribo. Go Premanandi. Thank you everyone for joining here. Ananda Krishna Devi and Nityadita, my god brother, Haribo, Padmanabha, Lila Santos, Arishesh. Please remember, if the Facebook link, live link goes out, you just go down to the post below it. I'm on YouTube live, so the thing will continue live on YouTube. Puran Militanyena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manavistam Stabitanyena Bhutale. Swayam Rupam Karamaya Didanti Swa Padante Kam. First of all, I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha and Diksha Guru Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Asatara Sata Sri Srimad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Then I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha and Sannyas Guru Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Asatara Sata Sri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha Gurus, Bharti Goswami Maharaj. I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, and Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. If for some reason it's not live anymore, just go to the link below and see me on YouTube. Okay. Can you hear me there? Nityadita, can you make some statement that you're hearing me or not hearing me on the live Facebook connection? Nothing. Okay, so Facebook connection has ended. You want to end this live video? No, I don't really want to end it, but you're telling me that I'm not connected anymore. So I don't know what to do. Due to poor wireless connection, your live video has been ended. Meanwhile, I've been connected to YouTube for 15 minutes now without interruption. Explain to me what's going on, Facebook. Failures. Okay. So today we're lecturing on the third verse. We're lecturing on the first verse of the Shikshastakam. We're on the Purport, and we're on the second section here. I can't. Oh, okay. You connect with, okay. We're on the Lord's potencies. We're on the section concerning the Lord's potencies. All right. So here in the Purport, there's going to be a discussion now about the different potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have been discussing in the previous parts of the Purport how the Mayavadis see everything as one, that the material world and the spiritual world are one and the same, that when we come here, when Krishna comes here, it's just Maya. Maya, Krishna is coming here and taking a form, is simply another form of Maya, just like when we come here and take a form. So it's all play, it's all illusion, it's all material. In this way, their idea, their concept is completely mundane vision. And they limit the Lord. So this idea that everything is one, it's been defeated already in this purport. We have discussed it at length. Now, at the end of this section on defeating the idea that everything is one, the point is brought up from the Svetashvatara Upanishad, Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate, that the Lord is perceived through his innumerable Shaktis, that he is the Shaktiman, the source of all Shaktis, and from him so many Shaktis come, and by his Shakti, this material universe manifests. So, what's going to be discussed now are the different Shaktis of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So, here is the beginning of that discussion in the Purport. We're going to read this first point here, the Lord's potencies, his internal potencies, then the marginal potency, then the external potency, and then how all the potencies are one and different simultaneously. So first, the internal potency. The one Parashakti, or superior energy, described above, is manifest in three forms. Antaranga Shakti, the internal potency, Tatastha Shakti, the marginal potency, and Bahiranga Shakti, the external potency. So by the Lord's internal potency, the supreme absolute truth in his complete and original feature exists as Bhagavan, who is devoid of all faults, supremely auspicious, and the basis of all transcendental qualities. So we discussed this from based on the verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedanti tat tatvam vida, tatvam yaj jnanam advayam. So advayyan means the one non-dual substance. So this is the supreme, he's the one non-dual substance. One non-dual substance. But the one non-dual substance, God, appears in many forms. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaneti, Shabdate. It's specifically talking about it in relation to Vedanta. Vedanti tat tatva vidam. Those who are knowers of Vedanta, because Vedanta has been written first by Srila Vyasadeva. Then, after Srila Vyasadeva wrote Vedanta, what he did next was wrote this also the commentary on Vedanta, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So this is the explanation of Vedanta Sutra, Srimad Bhagavatam. This is why in Srimad Bhagavatam it is saying, Vedanti tat tatva vidam, those who are knowers of this Vedanta Sutra, which I have written, know, Vedanti tat tatva vidam, tatvam yajnanam, they know the one absolute truth, Advaya, this non-dual truth, comes in three different phases. The first phase is Brahmeti, means Brahman, the effulgence of God. The second phase is Paramatma, the all-pervading feature. And the third phase is Bhagavan. So three phases, three phases. So therefore, we understand it from this perspective. Shankaracharya wrote one commentary on Vedanta called Advaita. No, it's all one. There's actually not three phases. There's only the Advaigyan. There's only the one non-dual substance. And the non-dual substance transforms into Maya, into this material world. This transformation Siddhanta, this transformation philosophy is rejected by the Vaishnavas. They don't accept the idea that Bhagavan transforms, that the Brahman transforms, or that Bhagavan transforms, or that anything transforms. This is not acceptable. Even within the Vaishnava Sampradayas, like Ramanuja, Madhva, and also Vishnu Swami and Nimbaditya, there sometimes is some reference to this concept that the personality of Godhead transforms, as opposed to what Advaita, the Advaita philosophy of Shankaracharya, that the Brahman transforms. All of this is rejected by Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This is not accepted by the Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. We believe in Shakti Radharani, the first Shakti which emanates from the left side of Sri Krishna. We follow this principle. We follow this conception that the first thing, the most important thing, the foremost thing is Shakti. Shakti is what makes everything function in the spiritual world, in the material world, everywhere. Shakti is very powerful, very influential. So here it is speaking that the one Parashakti, the Advaigyan Paratattva, has three forms: Antara Shakti, Tatastha Shakti, and Bahiranga Shakti. What is Antaranga Shakti? The internal potency. What is Tatastha Shakti? The marginal potency, Jiva. And the internal potency is Radha. And the Bahiranga Shakti is Maya, the illusory potency. So by the Lord's internal potency, the supreme absolute truth and his complete and original feature eternally exists as Bhagavan, who is devoid of all faults, supremely auspicious, and the basis of all transcendental qualities. So here it is emphasized that The Bhagavan aspect from this verse, Vedanti tat tattva vidam tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaneti shabdate, that the Bhagavan aspect is the complete, faultless, supremely auspicious basis of all transcendental qualities. And the internal potency, Radharani, completes the form of Bhagavan. Without Radharani, the form of Bhagavan is not complete. Krishna has to have Radha. Narayan has to have Lakshmi. In all the forms of the manifestations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Bhagavan, he who is Van, full of Bhaga, 6 opulences, it must have the Antaranga Shakti, a form of the internal potency of God. Very important. Then complete. Otherwise, it is not complete. So, in addition to the Lord's feature known as Tad Rupa Vaibhav, which refers to his transcendental abode, Vaikuntha Dham, his eternal associates, and the variegated manifestations of Lord Narayan, is eternally established by the same all-accommodating internal potency for the accomplishment of the transcendental pastimes. Without the manifestation of Antaranga Shakti in the spiritual world, the transcendental pastimes are not complete. If there's no Radha, then there's no pastimes for Krishna. If there's no Lakshmi, there's no pastimes for Narayan. There has to be Antaranga Shakti. Has to be Antaranga Shakti. So, this is the first, the internal potency, Antaranga Shakti. Now, Antaranga Shakti is Prakriti. Means Antaranga Shakti is the enjoyed. And Krishna and all Vishnu Tattva, from Balaram to Mula Sankarshan, Maha Sankarshan, Vishnu, Narayan, all these forms, Dwarkadish, Mathuresh, Ram, all of them are the enjoyer. They are Shaktiman, the source of Shakti. They are the enjoyer, the supreme enjoyer. And Shakti is the enjoyed, Prakriti. So they are Purusha, they are Shaktiman, they are the source of pleasure, potency, they are the source of the enjoyed. And the enjoyed completes the Purusha. Without Prakriti, teachings of the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Vedanta Sutra. So, therefore, if you want to understand the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you must understand Shaktiman and Shakti. You have to understand both concepts. Then the next energy is marginal potency, means Tatastha Shakti. So the same absolute truths, when endowed with the marginal potency, Tatastha Shakti, exists as the innumerable infinitesimal conscious living entities who are separated expansions of the Lord, Vibhini Namsa Swarup. So Vibhini Namsa Swarup means that we, the jivas, are part of God. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Amaivamso jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatana. The jivas are sanatana, eternally my anksha, eternally my part and parcel. Amaivamso jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatana. Therefore, we are expansions of Krishna, but we are expansions of Krishna, very minute, very small, very tiny. Therefore, we can become overcome by the Bahiranga, or the external illusory Shakti. Even though by nature we are superior to Bahirangi Shakti. Bahirangi Shakti is only a shadow of Antaranga Shakti. Bahiranga Shakti is only a shadow of the internal potency. But because we are so tiny, we are so minute in size, we can somehow become covered by the power of Bahirangi Shakti. So that is our present condition in this material world. We are covered by Bahirangi Shakti. We are covered by this material nature, illusory nature. And what does that covering do? That covering makes us think that we are somehow or other this physical body or the subtle body. When we say, I am not this body, it doesn't mean just I am not the flesh and blood and bones, but I am also not this mind. Very difficult. Also identifying with the intelligence, identifying with the material emotions. All these things are very difficult. But these are all part of the subtle body, the Shikshastakam. They're not part of the gross physical body, but they are not part of the spiritual body. Sometimes, when a person dies, the subtle body exits the physical body, and some doctors and other people, they say, oh, we saw the soul exiting the body. Actually, they're not seeing the soul. They're seeing only the Shikshastakam, the subtle body, the subtle covering. The soul is within that Shikshastakam. The soul is inside. And it has a different form altogether. Sometimes people who have seen ghosts, which ghost is simply means a subtle body which has not moved on to accept its next physical body. So it's manifesting itself sometimes to the vision of other people who are in their physical body. So when they look, they see a small girl or an old man or a middle-aged person. Why do they see that? Because the subtle body is composed of three things: the material intelligence, the material mind, and the material false ego. So the false ego is still very strong. The false ego lies with the physical body. So the last physical identification that the soul has through the agency of the false ego, the last physical identification that the false ego has of itself as a little girl or a middle-aged person or an old man, that is the form that the subtle body projects to the vision of people in the world. So they're looking at that and they're thinking, oh, that's who we are. We're that person, that's the soul, the old man soul. No, the soul is never old. The soul is never like this. No, the soul has a spiritual, transcendental form from the spiritual world. And this is all some Mayic or illusory form, but only in a more subtle way. More subtle way. That's it. So we see these things and we understand that the subtle body is simply manifesting a certain figure, a certain form. That's not Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha Shakti is the soul within the subtle body. Tatastha Shakti is the part and parcel of Krishna. Mamaivam so jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. He says right here in the purport that the same absolute truth, the same Advaigyan Paratattva, when endowed with the marginal potency, Tatastha Shakti, exists as the innumerable infinitesimal conscious living entities. So we are direct expansions of God. The Mayavadis say, oh, you're all God. Yes, on one level we're all God because we're all expansions of God. But we're very minute. We're very infinitesimal. We don't have all the powers of God. Rupa Goswami explains that there are 64 qualities of God in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. And of those 64 qualities, the jivas, we, minute living entities, have 50 of the qualities in a minute form. Then Brahma and Shiva and Shaktivesh avatars, jivas who are empowered, have 55 qualities. They have 5 more qualities. But those 5 more qualities are in a more expansive form. Then, so that makes 55. Now from 55 to 60, another 5 qualities are there. This is in only Narayan. Only Narayan has those 5 qualities. Narayan is the Lord of Vaikuntha. But then there are 4 more qualities. Those 4 qualities exist only in Krishna in Goloka. Those 4 qualities are that Rupa Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri, the sweetness of his form, Venu Madhuri, the sweetness of his flute, Leela Madhuri, the sweetness of his pastimes, and Prema Madhuri, the sweetness of his loving exchanges. We cannot find the sweetness of the loving exchanges between Krishna and his servants, his cowherd friends, his cowgirl friends, and his mother Yasoda. It is not in Vaikuntha. It is not with Narayan, that sweetness. The flute, Venu Madhuri, the sweetness of the flute is only with Krishna. Rupa Madhuri, the sweetness of that 2-armed form is only with Krishna. Leela Madhuri, the sweetness of those pastimes are only with Krishna. They are not with Narayan. So, if you want to understand the supreme sweetness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you must connect with Bhagavan. And Bhagavan means Antaranga Shakti and Purusha, Shaktiman, Shakti and Shaktiman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna and his internal potency, Radharani. Just as innumerable tiny molecular particles of light continuously shimmer in the rays of the sun, the numberless infinitesimal jivas exist like atomic particles of spirit in the rays of the Lord's marginal potency. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, Prabhupada talks about this in his commentary on Ishopanishads, that the jivas are atomic particles in the... So, therefore, just like he gives this example, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur gives the same example, Srila Sridhar Maharaj gives this example, how the sunshine is there, and in the sun there are atomic particles. Those particles are jivas. Okay, so the rays of the sun are compared to the effulgence of God, the Brahman, and the atomic particles in the rays of the sun are compared to the jivas inside the effulgence of God or Brahman. The tiny molecular particles within the rays of sunshine have no independent existence from the sun. So the jivas are not independent. We cannot be independent from Krishna. We're always dependent on Krishna. Nor can they ever be equated with the sun. We can never be equal to the sun planet. We're only the sunshine. If I say to open the curtain and allow the sun to come in the room, that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean the planet comes in the room. The sunshine comes in the room. But yet the sunshine is not different from the sun. But yet the sunshine is different from the sun. This is a Chintabheda Beta Tattva, which we're going to talk about very soon. Similarly, the infinitesimal conscious living entities have no separate existence from the Lord. Neither can they ever be addressed as the Lord, nor become the Lord. We can never be God. The idea of the Advaita Vedanta Siddhanta, that we can become God, that we are God, but we forgot that we're God, this is all bogus, unacceptable. This is not the philosophy. I remember Brahmananda telling me that Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And he was talking about these subject matter. And one person raised his hand. He wanted not to ask a question, but to state his own philosophical conclusion. And so he started arguing with Prabhupada. How can you say that we're only a part of God? We're all God. We're God. You are God. I am God. All of us are God. I am God. I am, and he's going on and on. Prabhupada let him speak for a few minutes. And then after he spoke for a few minutes, Prabhupada said, so you want all of us here to believe that you are God? And the whole classroom broke into laughter. And then the guy just was embarrassed and he sat down. Like this, Prabhupada, he was never defeated. He always defeated everybody else. Now, the last thing, external potency. Again, the supreme absolute truth, Bhagavan, has manifested this entire material world. The display of his external splendor by his inferior potency, known as Bahiranga Maya Shakti. The material world is a transformation of the Lord's Maya Shakti, or Pradhan. So, where does the Pradhan come from? I've said this many times before. Where does the Pradhan come from? The Pradhan comes from the shadow. It is the shadow of Rama Devi, Lakshmi. So the shadow of Rama Devi cast on the Brahman effulgence creates Bahiranga Shakti. And this Bahiranga Shakti is the external material world in the form of Pradhan. Pradhan is what? The undifferentiated material elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, mouth. All these elements are there in the Pradhan. They're all in the Pradhan. Just like if you look at Halava. The Halava has so many elements, but you can't see them. If you could reverse engineer the Halava, then you would see there's farina, there's water, there's ghee, there's sugar, there's grapes, the raisins, nuts, so many items you would see. Spices, cardamom, whatever, saffron. So all the spices, everything, all the individual elements you would see. But you can't see them in the Halava. It's like one congealed substance, Pradhan. But when it's reverse engineered, then all the ingredients exist. So how do those ingredients exist? How do we understand them? How do we see how they function? That we understand how they separate, how they manifest in separate forms, comes from the glance of Mahavishnu. When Mahavishnu glances on Pradhan, then the Paramatma, okay, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, the Paramatma enters, and Jivatma enters. So this Tatastha Shakti, okay, and the Paramatma, they enter. When they enter, then it animates the Pradhan. Now the Pradhan separates, and all the different forms manifest. They're reverse engineered, and they manifest, and you see them. This material world is a transformation of the Lord's Maya Shakti or Pradhan, which refers to the sum total of material existence. Just as the reflected rays of the sun create a colorful rainbow, the Lord's Maya Shakti or Pradhan manifests this fascinating material world. But it's only a reflection of the sunshine. It's only a diffusion of the colors which are present in the sunshine. It's not the sunshine itself. So Pradhan is only like this. It is a shadow. The material world is a shadow of the spiritual world, which is manifested by the Lord's internal potency. The spiritual world manifests by the Antaranga Shakti, and the material world manifests by the Bahiranga Shakti. So in both cases, Antaranga and Bahiranga, both Shaktis. So this is the principle of Shakti Parinamba, that this world manifests by the Shakti of the Lord, and He is Shaktiman, the source of all Shakti. As such, the material world is also not separate from the absolute truth. So nothing is separate from Krishna. This is the principle of Advaigyan Paratattva. Advaigyan Paratattva teaches us that nothing is separate from Krishna. Nothing is equal to Krishna. And nothing is superior to Krishna. These three things. This is the meaning of Advaigyan Paratattva. This is the meaning of Advaigyan Paratattva in short, in brief. So simply by understanding this principle, that nothing is equal to, this is the principle of Advaigyan Paratattva. The material world is also not separate from Krishna. The jivas are not separate from Krishna. The spiritual world is not separate from Krishna. Everything is connected to Krishna. But at the same time, everything is different. It is one and it is different. That is the basis of Achinta Bheda Bheda Tattva. So from the above discussion, simultaneous oneness and difference of the Lord and His potencies. In the above discussion, it is proved that the living entities, the jivas, the material world, Jad Jagat, and the Lord's personal splendor as regards His Vaikuntha existence, Tad Rupa Vaibhav, are inconceivably one with and different from His original spiritual form, Bhagavat Swarup. Everything, the jivas, the material world, the Vaikuntha world, is all one and different from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The infinitesimal living entities, on account of being dependent on the Lord, are His separated parts and parcels. Mamaivam so jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatana. In this is found their non-distinction from the Lord, abeda. However, due to an absence of knowledge of the Supreme Lord, they are preoccupied with the material energy. In this lies their difference, beta. So due to our occupation, being occupied with this material world, trying to understand and be involved in the material world. Therefore, we're under this illusory conception. And people are seeing us as, or we're seeing ourselves as part of this material world, or under the illusion of Mayavad philosophy, we're seeing ourselves as non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, this non-difference in that sense is Advaitavad. We think of ourselves as being God. This is all bogus conception, bogus philosophy. This is not real conception. Real conception is that we are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that we have a limited amount of his transcendental qualities, and that therefore we can only become conscious of him and serve him and become his servant. All of this conception is given in this purport by Srila Narayan Maharaj. Now, starting on Wednesday, we're going to go to the second verse of Shikshastakam and discuss the next verse. We've discussed the first verse, Chaito Dorpanamarjanam, Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. So that verse has been discussed. Now we will go to the next verse and we will discuss that. Is there some questions for today's lecture? Yes.
So, the case of the student at MIT, if he had said, we are all pieces of God, or we are all small parts of God, and this world is all a part or a piece of God, he would have been correct, rather than saying, we are all God, saying like this.
Yes. We are part and parcel of God. We have the same qualities of God, but not in the same quantity. Quality is there, the quantity is not. Yes.
How many of the qualities of Krishna does the pure devotee have?
Oh, pure devotee is like while he's manifest in this world, the pure devotee is like Shaktavesh. So 55, yeah.
Maharaj, it's not really clear to me how the Tatastha Shakti, who's by nature superior to the Bahiranga Shakti, can become affected by it.
Because it's so minute.
But it's still superior to
But Bahiranga Shakti is enormous. You look at this universe. How big is the universe? And how big are you? You're you are just a little tiny fragment. One time, one of my god brothers, he was in the temple. Prabhupada was there at the temple, and he heard my god brother shouting, "You have to do this, and you have to do that. I'm the temple commander. I'm commanding you. I'm in charge. You have to do this thing. You have to do this." Like this, he was going on and on shouting, "Why aren't you listening to me?" So Prabhupada came out and said, "Oh, you're the temple commander. You are one small person here in this temple on Watsika Avenue, which is in the city of Los Angeles, which is in the state of California, which is in the country of America, which is in the planet of Earth, which is one planet amongst millions of planets in this universe, which is one universe that's like a mustard seed in a bag of mustard seeds, and you are shouting, I am in charge. I am the temple commander." Now you get the idea of how small we are in relation to Maya. It is very big, and we are very tiny. So even though our nature is superior, the enormity of the illusion overcomes us, overwhelms us. Does that make sense to you now? There is a verse also in Gita. We're superior energy, but we're overcome by material nature. And you understand you're not your mind?
Yes.
There's so many impressions. The subtle body has impressions. It's called samskars. So that all the material activities we perform are impressed on the subtle body. And sometimes they come to the forefront when we're cleaning. Cheto Dorpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. We're cleaning the mirror of the mind. If you go into a place which is very dusty and dirty, and you start cleaning that place, initially the dust comes up everywhere. The dirt goes everywhere. And it appears like it's more dirty than it was before. In the process of that happening, that tumult of the cleansing, then what happens? Gradually, everything evaporates. The dirt, the dust, the clouds of dust, everything evaporates. And when it all evaporates, then we can look at the object clearly. So you're in there. You're underneath that subtle body. But these impressions are there. And the impressions, when you're cleaning, the impressions come up. Oh, you don't like seeing them. But you have to deal with them. You have to simply keep cleaning. If you keep cleaning, they'll go away. I remember one of my godbrothers wrote to Prabhupada, well, I'm chanting and I'm chanting and I'm chanting very loudly and very intensely, and then I see all these colors, so many colors come. What should I do? Prabhupada said, keep chanting, the colors will go away. Cleansing process. You understand? So Maya will convince you. No, this is wrong, that's wrong. Maya has so many ways to convince you. See, they're saying something that's different than your original, than your mother told you, or your religion told you, or your society told you, or this told you, or that. There's so many instructions you thought you received from somewhere, and you think that those are the true instructions, and you become confused. That's all part of the illusion. All part of the illusion. The real truth is Advaigyan Paratattva. There's one undifferentiated truth. But it is seen differently by different people at different times, places, and circumstances, according to the qualification of the audience to hear. When Krishna is speaking Gita to Arjuna, Arjuna is the son of a king who would rule the whole of the world. So he had a very big education by a very educated Brahmin priest teacher. So his education and his knowledge allowed him to see everything, even the universal form and the original form of Krishna. But other teachers could not show all these things. Buddha just said, be compassionate, don't eat the animals, be peaceful. He didn't give so many details. Muhammad said, we can't see God. We don't know what he looks like. Nobody knows what he looks like. The Jewish people, the same thing. We don't know. We can't even say the name. There's one name of God, which you're not supposed to say out loud. If you say it out loud in front of a rabbi, he'll slap you. So like this, they relegate God to something very distant. Moses had to give basic, simple things. Love, worship the Lord thy God, the one true God. Have no other false gods before you. Love the Lord, then Christ came. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, and soul. Love thy neighbor as thyself. So they gave fundamental rules and principles. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. This is from Moses. Then Jesus said, true, you shouldn't kill, but even more than that, if somebody hits you on one cheek, give them the other cheek. He was taking it to another level. You should be. It's true you shouldn't covet someone's wife, but I'm saying that it's not only physical, it's mental. If you think about it, that's also a sin. So he puts it up on another level. Why? Because the audience that he had was a little bit more capable of understanding things that the audience that Moses had couldn't. Therefore, he was able to give a little bit more subtle teaching. But Krishna is telling Arjuna, it doesn't matter if you kill, it's only the body. The soul's eternal. But if the bodies are committing crimes, if they're exploiting people, exploiting the land, exploiting the women, exploiting the children, then on my order you have to kill them, but without revenge, with love. You see? Well, this is the audience that Krishna had. A much more enlightened audience, able to see something very, very subtle, very deep. So, according to the audience, Krishna will give information. In the Old Testament, we hear there's a soul. In the New Testament, we hear there's a soul. In the Gita, it tells you all about the soul. How it's eternal, it always exists, it has a form, it's never burnt by fire or cut by instruments or weapons or withered by wind or wet by water. Like this, so many details are given in the second chapter about the nature of the soul. More in those 20 verses or 10 verses there, in the 20 verses in the Gita, there's more about the soul than there is in the entire Old Testament, New Testament, and Quran. More information about the soul in those 20 verses than there is in 3 volumes of religious texts. And even the Buddhists also. So we see that if the audience is correct, the audience is able to digest the information, then everything can be given. Then it can be given. So based on the audience. So sometimes when you come from another background, you look at what Krishna is saying and you think, this is different. This is different than Moses, different from Abraham, different from Jesus, different from Allah. It's different. That seeing that difference is based on not understanding the Advaigyan Paratattva and how the one non-dual truth reveals itself according to time, place, and circumstance. So that's part of the illusory conception. And as we break free from the illusory conception of the differences, then we see that it's the same truth being explained to different audiences at different time, places, and circumstances in order to help them understand what they can about this one non-dual substance. Very, very all part of the equation in terms of becoming enlightened in Krishna consciousness. All right. Any other questions? You? No questions? You have big questions in your eyes, but you're not saying anything.
Realizing how the pull of Maya, realizing how tiny we are and how grand it is.
Yes.
It's no wonder the struggle.
Yes. Yes.
So by realizing how tiny we are and how enormous this is, you can grasp a little of, wow, if I can just depend on Krishna and if I can just get the fact that this is not my body, if I can just get the idea of, oh, an illusion.
You're in an ocean. When you're in the middle of the ocean, is there any chance of you swimming out of to safety in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah.
The only possibility is someone comes and picks you up. Takes you up.
If they happen to see you,
Huh?
if they happen to see you, how can they even do that?
Because Krishna can see everything.
Oh, well, yes.
So therefore, Krishna can see you. He can come and pull you out. You understand?
My point was that how awesome it is that we have the opportunity
Yes.
to see that and know that we can.
You can.
Yes.
Yes, you can. You can surrender.
Huge.
We can all surrender to Krishna. Is it difficult? Yes. But can we do it if we want? We can. As long as we don't let our minds get in the way.
For our bodies.
Or our bodies. Yes.
So even now in our present time, in our present level of education, there are still different circumstances in different places for different groups of people who are going to have different understandings. Is that why we still have so many different religious practices? Because it's according to their...
According to time, place, and circumstance, the people are going to see things their own way. Remember how I explained all this to you so many times before in the Gita. First of all, the living entities, they only depend on themselves. They think of themselves. Me, 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 me. You understand? So they think, I'm doing. I'm the doer. I'm the one. I'm making it happen. So it's all narcissistic, self-centered. So that's why Krishna says in the Gita, when they want to worship the demigods, I give them faith. Why? Because For the first time, they're saying, okay, I can't do this alone. I've got to depend on somebody else to help me. So if I want to have knowledge, I worship the goddess of knowledge, Saraswati. If I want to get rid of obstacles, I worship the deity that removes them, Ganesh. If I want money, I worship the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. So like this, they go outside of themselves. You understand? So then Krishna gives them faith. Okay, you're going outside of yourself. You're recognizing there's a higher power. It's not the highest power, but it's a higher power than you. You're recognizing that you can't do it. So I'll give you faith for that. But an intelligent person knows that those demigods are not giving you knowledge, wealth, and removing the obstacles. Those gifts are coming through them from me. I am the source of that. I'm actually the one who's removing the obstacle. I'm the one who's giving you the knowledge. Sarvachacham Ridisani Visto Mata Smriter Gyanamapoanam Cha. I am in everyone's heart, and I am the source of all knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. I am the one who's doing it. But because you're not ready to go there, okay, so you worship the demigod for now. I'll give you faith. Because that's better than thinking you can do it yourself. So then, when they get a little further along, Chaturvida Bhajanti Mam Janasakritano Arjuna, Artha Jignasa Artha Arti Gyani Cham Bharatashava. Okay, I worship Krishna because I got distress. I have some problems. I have so many difficulties with my mind and my body and my emotions and this and that. So I'm worshiping God. Please help me. Or I need money. So I worship God. Please give me money. Or I have money and I have no distress because I've got a big house and a good job and lots of money and a nice family and friends and all the things, but something's missing and I don't know what it is. And this is Jignashur. So then you become inquisitive. Is there some way I can be more permanently happy than this? So this is Jignashur. And then there's Gyanicha. Someone who's been through all this already. Okay. I don't want to worship God for my body, for my money, because I'm inquisitive. I know the purpose of life is God. I have to surrender to God. I have to do His service. I have to become His servant. So we go to that level. Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Jnananam Mam Prapadyante. After many, many, many births, this Jnani, Jnananam Mam Prapadyante, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, then he understands Vasudeva Krishna is the source of everything. And then amongst all of those persons who surrender to Vasudeva, only one knows me in truth. Oh, how difficult. Huh? Try to understand. It's a very deep thing. So general public, they become attached to some religious belief system. Good. We support that. Better than atheists. Here. But depending on the audience. We see people say, I love God, but they eat animals. or they drink, or they do this, that, and they say, oh, I can drink as long as I don't get drunk, or I can eat this because it's clean. They have so many different rules that, well, if I slit the throat of the animal and hang it upside down and drain its blood, then I can eat it. So they have all these ideas about how to enjoy the material nature. And so these are called religious and sub-religious principles. This is not the real religion. The real religion, or the real consciousness, is to surrender completely to God and not harm even ant. But to speak of eating cows and pigs and not trying, we're already in the illusion. So then we drink to be in the illusion of the illusion. We take drugs to be an illusion of the illusion. I can't deal with the illusion. Let me go into illusion. So this is the nature of these people. They don't understand. They don't know how to follow the. All right, but you pray to God. Okay, something. You go to some ceremony every week, or you pray in the morning and the night, or whatever it is. All right, you're doing something good. Beginning, going outside yourself. But how do we see all living entities as part and parcel of God within the organic whole of the universe? You know? That's a whole other concept. Okay, so now, according to this, I've spoken an hour and 20 minutes, but the first 20 minutes are spent trying to set it up. I've spoken an hour. Any other questions? All right, ending the stream. Are you sure you want to end your stream?